I have 30 minutes to make this video, so here I go. I wanted to make like a super casual video about all the books that I've read. I tried to like make this into like an Instagram reel or whatever, but my fucking blabbermouth just talks too much, so I'm just gonna make this into like a short little fun quirky YouTube video because why not? Just all my thoughts that I've been thinking about these books, how these books how some of these books just kind of like have taken over my life. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, so the first book that I read this year was A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J Maas, which is the 4th book in the ACOTAR series. And like honestly, y'all, what happens in this book? Because mama can't remember. Like, it's 200 pages of filler. Pretty much what happens, also this is gonna be super spoilery, so spoiler warning. Pretty much what happens is like Feyre's like, you know what? I want to own a paint shop, paint therapy, and I want to have a kid. Which I feel like kind of made me upset. Okay. Not that having kids is upsetting. I thought that she wanted to wait until like the world is better. Mama, the world ain't good. The world ain't better in this book. Like, this is like after the 3rd book where they just like had the big war with Hybrid, where he died, where like everyone is like low-key traumatized. I just don't really understand, like, I don't really think a lot of things got resolved in that war. Like, things definitely got resolved, but not everything. So that's why I'm like, I don't really know if bringing a kid into this universe right now is like the best idea, but it is very beautiful that you want to have a child with Rhysand. So overall, I gave it a 3.5. It wasn't bad. I mean, it's just like you have to read it because it's like in the series. Things that happen in the 4th book carry on into the 5th book, so it's like, okay, I guess. But my overall rating, I like rated it 3.5, and then I also said filler episode but with some very important moments. I totally understand why this book was born. It's a mix of the calm after the storm, Christmas special, and touching, very beautiful about like Rhys and Feyre and what they want to do for their future. I loved all the different point of views. There were some moments that dragged out a bit, but it was really good, and I'm so happy I read it in the beginning of the year because it was like still winter and it was like snowing one day while I was reading the book, so it was like, it was so beautiful. That's the first book I read this year, was kind of just like a continuation of a series. So then after that, I read A Court of Silver Frames, which is the 5th book in the ACOTAR series. So this one follows Nesta and Cassian, and guys, like I love this book so much. Nesta and Cassian are like my mother and father. I love them so much. Oh my god. I just like Nesta's story. Okay, I think everyone hated Nesta, which Miss Moss really sets you up to not like her. Like, I did not like her up until this book. I mean, maybe in the other books there were some moments where I was like, oh, Nesta, yay. But like, this book makes you love her so much. It's a beautiful book about friendship and going through hardships and how to face hardships together as friends, as relationships, how to carry them on in relationships, new relationships. It was just such a beautiful book. So yeah, I gave it a 3.75. If you know the reason why a lot of people are upset about this book, then you know. If you don't, let me tell you. So Rhys and like all of the bad boys are low-key feminist. Yeah, we love them. But in this book, no, they were not. And especially Rhysand. Rhys is like on some very thin ropes right now. Like, I love him, ride or die for him, but I'm also like, you're gonna be voting on a woman right now and deciding her fate. You're gonna decide whether she knows that she may or may not die because of childbirth, and you are gonna be the one holding that back for her. Her husband, yeah, did not fuck with that at all. And like, it's so upsetting. What made me really upset is like how they were all mad at Nesta for like telling Feyre about how her pregnancy could have gone wrong. Like, I know she did it out of spite, but it's also like, who else was going to tell her than her own sister? But yeah, I really, really like this book. Besides that one part, I love Nesta and Cassian. I love a lot of Asriel in this, which Nesta and her the Valkyries, stop. Like, literally fucking stop. Like, Gwen, I love Gwen so much when she says that, like, all of their stories are important to tell. Ugh. I said, guys, I wrote this book so much. I just finished it and I want to cry. I could probably write a whole essay on why and how this book is so beautiful. There was so many moments of dialogue that I love. Happy and sad, pretty and sexy. That generally made this book feel so real while being about a faraway land. I love this book and the character growth was so beautiful. The found family was beautiful and I loved it so much. I like wrote an actual essay, so I'm not like gonna go deeper into that. Guys, pick up the ACOTAR series, please. I just like it. I really liked it, okay? So the next book I read after that was Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, which, okay, this was probably my mistake of reading a fantasy series by Sarah J Maas and then deciding, let me go and read another fantasy series that is very popular right now. Yeah, that was probably like my mistake because I did not like this book at all. And I don't know if it's because I was like, just got done with ACOTAR and I was just like, wow, I wanted this to be more ACOTAR, but it wasn't. I really don't know what I expected from this book, but I just like didn't like it. I really didn't. I picked it up because I picked it up in January, like right after Onyx Storm came out. And I was like really excited for it, and like everyone was hyping it up and like making it seem like the best book ever. And then I read it and it took me really long to finish this book, but I was just not thrilled with it at all. I think, to me, and this is like super controversial and I'm like really sorry, but it felt like if it was made in 2014, this would be like the Bible on Tumblr. I just like feel like there was so many moments where I was like, why is she saying that in this book? I know it's a fantasy novel and you can say whatever the fuck, you can do whatever the fuck, but like it wasn't making sense. I really hated whenever she would like kind of use like slang in this. There was like a part where like Xaden said, "I'm quaking in my boots." I'm not even joking, I almost DNF'd it after I read that line. Because what do you mean you're quaking in your boots? You're a sexy 6 foot tall man and what? And I know a lot of people hate it because they're like, oh, Violet this, Violet that. No, it wasn't even Violet. It was literally the writing was just like so like interesting in my opinion. I was like, I mean, I guess that's okay to say in this fantasy novel, but it was just like, I feel like the words were not consistent of like the time in the setting. I don't know, I just didn't like it. Maybe because it's not like high fae or like it's not fae. There's literally no fae, right? So it's like I was expecting like the fae talk, but instead I was like getting like just normal people, dragons, you know. I just am not used to that. Maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'll have to listen to the audiobook. I will say I did love me some Xaden though. Xaden, hit me up if you wanna. I do like that Rebecca Yarros, because she's gonna make this into a TV series, and she's like, yeah, Xaden is not gonna be a white man, just saying. Which, thank you, Rebecca. Thank you so much. I feel very bad. I don't know, it just was not my favorite read, which there's just so many bones to like pick with this series. I also really hated where like things would just move on really fast, where like something happened with the guy that she's known like all her life, whatever, the childhood friend, after they like kissed or something, and then she's just like, oh yeah, that was nothing, and then they just kind of like walk off. Like, what do you mean that was nothing? Like, you should probably like think about that a little more. I don't know, I just feel like things were just not like really like dived into more is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I gave it a 3.75 and I said, wow, I don't even know where to start. I just want to say that I will be continuing this book, but man, this was kind of a hard read. Not because it was hard to read, but it's like wow, this is actually kind of cringe. There was many parts where the writing really took me out rather than keeping me in. And I get that they are 20 years old, as I am one myself. But, like, sometimes I was just like, why are you saying that? There was a lot of grammar things that I felt like could have been adjusted or said differently to make it even more impactful and digestible, as I feel that it took me a long time to read this book because I kept having to reread sentences. Like, I do love that they do point blankly just curse, but sometimes I felt like it was just too much and ruined the flow. Besides that, I love the characters and seeing the growth in Violet. There was something kind of annoying about her, but I did enjoy her as a character. I also love Zayden a lot, and I feel like they both really help each other grow in different ways, but it's beautiful. Some of the side characters were also fun. I just kind of wish that Miss Rebecca can add some more details about the characters and how they work to help me visualize them more. Good book, just a little hard to get into. Kind of was hate reading it, but the end really made up for it. And that's like something I do want to say. The ending was really good, and I do love this, like, ooh, maybe her mom is not a good person. Love that. So the next book I read after that, it was February, so I was like, well, I have to read a romance novel. I read The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, which I feel like, to me, I was like, again, I didn't pick up books or like reading until like this year. This to me was like the beginning of book talk. This is where like I saw books starting to get on my feed, was this book right here. Fun fact, if you didn't know, because I love throwing out this fact, The Love Hypothesis is supposedly like a Kylo Ren Reylo. It's a Reylo fanfic. If you can't tell by the art, yes. The main character's name is Adams. Yeah, I really liked it. I really did enjoy this book though. It was really fun to read during February. Me and my friend read it together, so we like book clubbed it. I love Olive a lot. Her character really means so much to me, and like kind of how I view love a little bit. Wow, love is like really deep actually, and kind of scary. I really did like this book. It was so fun. I actually bought this back, I think in like 2021, but just like never really read it until this year. And I never thought I would be the type of person to be like, okay, let me like reread stuff that I already read. And I did, and I sat through the whole book, and it was really fun. It was enjoyable. I bought this, like I said, before the bonus chapter was added to the book, but if you get it, read the bonus chapter. It's an Adam's point of view, and it's so good and really adds to the story. But yeah, I really like these characters a lot. They were fun. It was a fun book. Romance novels are so fun, guys. So I also gave Love Hypothesis a 3.75. Yeah, I think that's a 3.75. I said I really did like this book. It was so fun and moved so fast in a good way. There was some things towards the end that made me a little upset, like how some of the side characters would speak for the main characters. I don't know, it kind of sucked. But really, besides that, it was so much fun and I loved it. The bonus chapter was so good. Teehee. Fun read. Totally recommend it if you just want to pick up a book, have it done like super fast. Fun. Super fun. So the next book I read after Love Hypothesis was Book Lovers, and like it was kind of funny because I had like books that I wanted to read, and then I saw like one of those like TikToks where it was like, this is the vibe for this book, and I saw like the images and the like aesthetic of what Book Lovers was supposed to be, and I was like, I see a sexy guy upon me. So you bet I went and bought that book on my Kindle and read it immediately, and I honestly like couldn't put it down. Like, it was so fun. It was such a fun book, and like, oh my god, if anyone has ever read Fangirl by Rainbow, cannot pronounce her last name, which I'm so sorry, and I've been in it through the 10 years that book has been released, and I still cannot say your last name. But if you've ever read Fangirl, this is like the contemporary romance adult novel of Fangirl almost. I thought it was so beautiful. Nora and Charlie, is his name Charlie? I can't remember his name. I don't think it was Charlie. No, it was Charlie, right? Anyways, oh my god, I love them so much. This story was so it was so beautiful and so sweet. It was like one of those books where I was like, wow, I'm like really there. Like, I'm really feeling these emotions. I like just hit myself in the face. I'm like really feeling the emotions. I'm really seeing where I'm at. Like, oh, it was so beautiful. Like, I really recommend this book to anyone who wants to read a romance novel. But like, here's the thing, to me it wasn't just a romance novel, and I feel like I read it at a time where I was like really going through a lot of stuff at work and just needed like a moment of like, I just need to take on what I can. And it did that. It literally did that for me. Like, it really just told me that. It was a book that I just needed to read at the time, and it was so beautiful. I really recommend it to everyone. It's as much as it's about romance, it's also about family and also about yourself and how you should take care of yourself and enjoy the life that you're living. Like, sure, the money that you make is important, but also so is the life that you live. So I ended up giving it a 4-star, and I said, wait, this book is so sweet. I really loved it and adored this book. If you like Fangirl, then I think you would like this book. It really made me think of Fangirl. Fangirl got into a adult romance book. This would be it. I love Nora. Her growth was so beautiful, and learning about her family was so special. I really did like this book. I don't know. I feel like I know I really like this book when I have so much to say and none to say at the same time. I gave it a 4-star because it was predictable, but in the sweetest way possible. But it was really touching, and I almost cried plenty of times. It's such, Emily Henry, this has been the only book I've read so far from you, but you are an amazing writer. So after I read Book Lovers, I promised my friend that I would start Throne of Glass. And let me tell you, I was so happy to be home to Miss Sarah J. Maas's writing, because I was there. I am there whenever I'm reading these books by her. God bless her soul, because this book was amazing. Literally no critique. This book is just so good. What I love the most about it is like, it is the trial. It's just like little tiny smidge of romance, but like, oh my god, like a love triangle. What? Like, Dorian. Guys, this book, I gave it a 5 fucking star. I need everyone and their freaking mothers to go and pick this up, because this book is so good. Wow, the trials, the mystery, like the fantasy element, like this book has so much going on, but in the most, and I mean in the most beautiful way. Because you know what? A fantasy novel should also be a fucking mystery. Because you know what? Yeah, what is this fucking magic that you guys have? I don't know. I literally had no fucking clue. Tell me. Go and find out. Because what the fuck? This book, I need like wow. I've only read the first 2 books so far. I know that's like a spoiler. I'm sorry. God bless his soul. This book is so amazing. So I gave this book a 5-star, and I said, I think everyone should pick up this book. It is so fun. It's so fun and keeps you entertained all the way through. Love that it's a fantasy story that also has a subplot of mystery. Oh my god. I fucking love that. I love all the characters and the little love triangle going on there. She is such a beautiful writer, Miss Sarah J. Maas, that is. It's so beautifully written while also being so easy to understand. I really have nothing bad to say about this book. Wow. Love. I also love Selena. I know her name. I know she is like, I know who she is, but I love, okay, first off, the name Selena, banger. That is a crazy ass name, and I love it. My middle name's Elena. Selena, love. Okay, love her name. Love her characteristics. I love that she's a little sassy, a fucking badass, and loves to dress up. Because you know what? That's a woman. That is a lady. That is a fucking lady. Get those 3 things. Yeah, she's a baddie. Oh my god, I cannot even imagine like when this book series came out. I would be like, let me see this. Holy shit, give me the next book. No, baby. Like, I would go insane, actually. I would not know how to feel. Sorry, I'm like fucking tweaking out because this book is so good. Okay, so you bet I like finished that in like 6 days, because I'm a slow reader. No hate. So you know what I finished even faster? Yeah, bitch. This shit was crazy. This was crazy. This was actually fucking insane. Holy shit. This is like traumatic to me in multiple ways now. Kale. Okay. Fucking ugly way to pronounce his name. Cole. It looks like Cole, but I would say Kel to like keep peace. and Selena, oh boy, don't even get me started on their relationship. That was messy, that was traumatic, like that is my worst fear, if you know what I'm talking about. Wow, Miss Sarah J Maas really went there in a YA novel. The ending of this, fucking Cal, yeah, fuck you, F you. Nahima's death. Don't come on, don't play those games on me. I don't know, I love so much about this book. Dorian having powers, holy shit. The data is crazy, like, oh my god. Oh my god. Like, what? Wow. I gave this book another 5 stars. If I end up giving this whole series a 5 stars, it's gonna be insane, actually. Once I said, wow, so far this series has been 5 stars. What? Y'all, it's so good. So good. I love these mysteries and how she has to keep solving them, and again, in the setting of a fantasy. I just really don't know how to describe it, but it's just so different, I feel. Everything is so deep and interconnected, and there was at one point where it was a reference to something discovered in the first book, and I love that. Reference the books before. Kel, brother, come on. I don't know, if I get into everything with Kel and Selena, I will cry. I will not go there, but this book really made me emotional in so many moments in such a beautiful way. Also, just have to add, I love Dorian. I do. So my most current read was Quicksilver. This cover, Callie Hart, this was not it. I know you made it, but you know what? I read the book for you and I bought the book, so what can I say? Guys, what the fuck? Okay, so this I don't even know where to start with this. So much goes on in this, and literally, like, these were the most important pages, and what kind of makes me upset, because I think this had the potential to be a really good book. I just really hated that she waited to shit, like, she literally dookie watered everything out on the last few pages of the book. And I just feel like if we got a lot more lore about Kingfisher, like, I know he's supposed to be mysterious, but I feel like if we got a lot more lore about him throughout the book, there would have been the opportunity to feel more connected to him. I'll almost say, like, I would have loved him as a character more, because I feel like with these romance novels or like romantasy novels, people are like, let me see what kind of guy I can read into, and like, it was just not really fun for, like, he was just not funny. He was very serious all the time, which, I mean, I get it. He was also kind of going, like, insane. But there was also just so much going on. Fae, vampires, how that's, like, interconnected, and then the human realm with the queen who is a vampire, but she's the queen of the human realm. It's just like, what? There was just so much that was like, why did you put that at the end of the book, Callie? What else happened? Like, what else went on here? I'm a little disappointed, because this was like my most anticipated read for this year. I was like, oh, I picked that up later, and then I ended up having a book club and we got to go read it together, which was fun. The like female main character, she was just like, okay, so I know a lot of people have thoughts about Violet, but let's talk about this female main character. Her name is Cyrus. I really did not like her. I just don't really think that, and maybe this is because I was coming from a thorn of glass. What? Throne of Glass. I was expecting like a badass character. Like, I feel like it's really like this weird genre of like kind of anti-feminism where it's like, I hate dresses, I want to be in pants all the time. Okay, what's wrong with dresses? It's like, there's nothing wrong with dressing up, because this character refused to put on a dress. She was like, I hate dresses, you know how I feel about dresses. Like, okay, what if I want to wear a dress? Like, does that make me look like weak, powerless? Can I not fight a bitch in a dress? Like, I don't really understand what you're trying to like relay whenever you say that you don't like a dress. No, I don't know. I just like wish there was something to see her in something fun and like do something fun where it wasn't like always serious, or like them getting like really super horny, which also like leads to the next subject of like, this book is also, the setting was good, you know what, kept its age. That's what I liked more about it than Fourth Wing, was that like I felt like I was like in the right time setting throughout the whole book. What I realized about this book is that for once the female character is not like just freshly turned 19 or 18. Like, she's a 24-year-old adult, and I will say that is understandable, more understandable with like some of her characteristics. Like, okay, yeah, maybe even like with the clothes, like I just need to dress to feel comfortable and to fight off things that I have to fight. But it's also like, again, like whatever. And it also kind of explains like why the romance moved a little bit faster, because she's a little more like, the frontal lobe is a little more developed at this point, so she's just like, just give me what I want, you know? Which again, I did kind of like, honestly. Like, it was very straight to the point with what they were to each other. But there was just, again, like a lot of things that just were not described enough, moved on very fast past. Like, there was just, it just like the pacing was just not good. And like I said, for this to have the most important part about like one of the main characters, nah doggy. Nah. So I ended up giving this book a 3-star, and I said, huh? So like, I didn't hate it, I genuinely didn't, but I think there was some things that were upsetting, such as I hated that so much of the lore was at the end, like why Kingfisher was in prison all those years, and Carry On and his upbringing. Like, I don't know, so much of it felt pooped out at the end, but there was so much that I did like about it. I think it was just a lot, it flowed semi well. I think everything was just new, like the Fae, vampires, and humans. That's just more than I'm used to. Won't reread, but will be reading the next book. So there's that. Lastly, I want to talk about the book that I am currently reading. I am rereading A Court of Mist and Fairy by Sarah J. Maas. I've been going through a lot of stuff at work, and I'm not even joking. This has really and has already helped me kind of forget about the stuff that's going on at work. I just feel like I'm at home. This is definitely a comfort read and just something that I need right now. I'm like going on a big trip soon. I have a lot of work problems. So this is just like really what I need. I'm listening to the audiobook, which I've never listened to an audiobook before, and kind of like reading it at the same time, and I love it. What? It is so fun. The dramatized or like the graphic audiobooks, oh my god, like it just really puts everything in a new perspective, which has been like really fun. My friend, I like told my friend the other day, I was like, thank you so much for getting me into this book, because if it wasn't for this book, I wouldn't have read all these other books, wouldn't be into fantasy. Like, this book really has changed my life. Yeah, not to get too deep, but like I am confident reading this right now, and I'm just like the happiest person at the moment. I am very happy with this reread so far. I'm like on page 221 already after like starting the graphic audiobook last night. So yeah, so these were all the books that I've read so far this year. My reading goal is 13. It wasn't was. Is 13. Like how many books I plan on reading this year. I know I'm probably gonna like beat that. I set the goal low because I was like, I don't really know if I'm gonna get into reading or not. But here I am on my 9th book this year. What the heck? I just really never imagined myself to like actually read, first off, fantasy, to be reading in general, but like this is so deep, and I'm like telling you this for what? I don't know. But I really feel like reading has like reconnected me to like some of my best friends that I had in elementary school. Some of my friends even like now. Just sharing interest is so fun with so many people, and I feel like I said, I'm reconnecting with friends, making new friends that were my old friends. It is so beautiful. Read a book, it might change your life. But yeah, thank you for watching. I just wanted to rant, and I'm sorry. Thank you.